We like to think of ourselves as rational beings, making sound judgments based on logic and evidence. However, our brains are susceptible to cognitive biases. These biases are like invisible forces, subtly shaping our perceptions and decisions. They are deeply ingrained patterns of thinking that arise from the way our brains process information. While useful, these shortcuts can lead to predictable errors in judgment. Understanding cognitive biases is crucial because they affect nearly every aspect of our lives. By becoming aware of these biases, we can make more informed, rational choices. This awareness empowers us to make better decisions in our personal and professional lives. One of the most pervasive cognitive biases is confirmation bias, our inherent tendency to favor information that confirms our existing beliefs and to discount information that contradicts them. It's like an echo chamber of our own making, where we selectively seek out and interpret information that reinforces our pre-existing views regardless of their validity. This bias stems from our deep-seated desire to be right and to maintain a consistent self-image. When confronted with information that challenges our beliefs, we experience cognitive dissonance, a state of mental discomfort that we instinctively seek to avoid. It's far easier and more comforting to dismiss contradictory evidence than to grapple with the possibility that we might be wrong. Confirmation bias can manifest in subtle ways, influencing our choices of news sources, the people we surround ourselves with, and even the scientific studies we find convincing. It can lead us to make poor decisions, cling to false beliefs, and miss out on valuable opportunities for growth and learning. Another powerful cognitive bias is anchoring bias, our tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive, the anchor, when making decisions, even if that information is irrelevant or unreliable. This initial anchor sets a reference point that disproportionately influences our subsequent judgments and estimates, even when we are aware of its arbitrary nature. For example, in negotiations, the first offer often acts as a powerful anchor, setting the tone for the entire discussion. If the initial offer is high, subsequent counteroffers are likely to be higher as well, even if they are still below the initial and potentially inflated anchor point. Anchoring bias highlights the importance of first impressions and the enduring power of initial information. It underscores the need to be critical of the information we receive, particularly when it comes to decision-making. Section 4. Availability, Heuristic, Judging Likelihood on Mental Shortcuts. The availability heuristic is a mental shortcut that leads us to judge the likelihood of an event based on how easily we can recall similar events from memory. It's a quick and dirty way to assess risk and probability, but it can also lead to significant errors in judgment. For example, we tend to overestimate the likelihood of rare but vivid events, such as plane crashes or shark attacks, because they receive a disproportionate amount of media attention and are therefore more easily recalled. Conversely, we often underestimate the likelihood of more common but less memorable events, such as car accidents or heart attacks. The availability heuristic highlights the powerful influence of emotions and vivid imagery on our judgments and decisions. It reminds us that our perceptions of risk and probability are not always accurate reflections of reality. Recognizing our biases. Understanding cognitive biases is the first step towards mitigating their influence. By becoming aware, we can recognize and counteract biases in our thinking. Seek out diverse perspectives and challenge your beliefs. Expose yourself to a variety of viewpoints. Question your assumptions and consider the opposite perspective. Be aware of your emotional state. Emotions can cloud judgment. Section 6, Conclusion, Outsmarting Our Irrational Selves. Cognitive biases are an inherent part of the human experience. They are not signs of weakness or irrationality, but rather evidence of the efficient, albeit imperfect, ways in which our brains have evolved to navigate a complex world. By understanding these biases, we can become more aware of their influence on our thinking and take steps to mitigate their impact on our decisions. This awareness empowers us to make more informed, rational choices, leading to better outcomes in our personal and professional lives. By outsmarting our irrational selves, we can unlock our full potential and create a more fulfilling future.